Sports Show. Time to talk a little bit of SANFL. We said that the Southern Footy League's hotting up. Well, it's hotting up in the SANFL right now. It's the end of the season, but we're lucky to be joined by the coach of South Adelaide, Jarrad Wright. Hey, mate.
G'day, fellas.
Welcome, Jarrad.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, mate. We're not in the finals, South, after a couple of prelims, but I was having a real good look at your form guide for the year this morning, in fact. And you can't use, I know we can't use injuries as an excuse, but boy, you had a fair share and, you had a lot of close games. So you finished outside the five, you're not going to play finals, but there are reasons. There are reasons, and I don't care. I know we can't use excuses, but you had some valid reasons.
Yeah, no, it hasn't probably been the most, fortunate with injuries this year. And, we reflect on the season, on how we performed, and 6 out of our 9 losses have been by under 10 points. And I think it was a 1 point, 1 point, 3 point, 5 point losses. So, you win 2 more of those, you make finals, you win 3, you finish in second. So, upon reflection, we've had some injury tolls. We've played the most amount of players at league level than any other club, I think, bar Westies, and had 23 debutants at league footy this year. So we've had a bit of a transition year. But when we reflect on where we're at and how we've performed and what could have been, we're going to bounce in the next year pretty positive.
And Jarrad, you look at the competition, in the general sense, and you think it is a very even competition. You start talking about those close losses. The difference between getting 1 or 2 and the push up the ladder is incredible.
Yeah, it is.
And that's the nature of the way it's been all year. So, and have you guys, in terms of your recruiting from this year, would have been very pleased with the guys that you did bring in, and of course then you were just like most of us. The minute you lose 2 or 3 of your top end players, you really get impacted. Yeah,
no, certainly. Like Barry said, we made 2 prelims in a row the last 2 years, and unfortunately we had 13 players depart out of our prelim side last year. 700 league game experiences in Joel Cross 200, Nick Schwartz 100, Colotto 100, Beeman's 100, Benny Haran 100. So there was plus 3 drafted. So we did lose a bit of experience. So we have brought in some youthful talent that haven't played a lot of footy over the last few years due to COVID. So I think our retention should be pretty strong this year, and if get the likes of Bryce Gibbs back from injury next year, and replace Oscar Brownless, who missed the whole year with an ACL, and Joel Menzies got drafted in the mid-season draft. So we've got some players to come in and recruit, and with the junior talent that we developed this year with our debutants, I think we should be able to bounce back in pretty quickly.
And this next stage, Jarrad, for our audience, I mean, it's a pretty important phase as well, isn't it? Like you now review the year, but you can see all the positives, and will you sit down with your playing group and go through a whole exit process?
Yeah, so next Monday we'll give them this week off, and we'll just sort of collate the data over the week, which we started looking into yesterday. And we'll have a team exit review next Monday, and then following that we'll get all the individuals in for their exit meetings and talk about their year of development, and then what the next stage looks like for them. And then like everyone, it's a bit of a meat market out there with the recruiting phase. So we'll unfortunately we'll get a head start on everyone by about 2 or 3 weeks with the players or the teams that are still in the finals race. But then try and have a 2 or 3 week break with the family and get cracking into it again.
You said that you were quoted in the press earlier in the week as saying that the game on the weekend against the Eagles was probably the best 4-quarter performance of your team for the season. Is that good or is that frustrating?
I think it shows the amount of instability we've had with our group. I think we had 8 players that have played 16 or more games. North Adelaide played 17 players that have played 16 or more games, so they've pretty much been unchanged the whole year. So that synergy with that connection is pretty important. And probably the Glenelg game about 4 weeks ago, where we won by 6 goals, was probably the best. And I think Eagles' game was pretty close to it. We kicked 9 goals, 18, so we didn't quite get the scoreboard pressure on. But I thought that the way we played was really positive, and to finish the year with 2 wins does give us a good springboard into next year, and gives the players a bit of hope as well, in the off season, that they know we're not too far away.
Blokes like your captain, Matty Rose, he missed quite a bit of footy as well. I know Matty did. Broadbent missed a lot of footy. and we know about Gibbs, of course. Are these guys likely to suit up again? Is Broady committed, or is Matty Rose?
Yeah, so Rosie, he missed the first 11 games of the year, I think, 10 games of the year. So he's committed, yep. He's on board for next year. Matty Broadbent has also said that he wants to play on. Him and his partner Julia just had twin boys, last week, hence why he missed the last week's game.
But I can say, look, as an opposition, like that guy is incredible. I mean, the way he just reads the play and his experience, and he brings players in. I mean, they're just so valuable, those mature players that. But they play outside.
Exactly.
It's to bring the group in, and he's been terrific for you.
Yeah, no, he's been terrific. He's he'll be fourth year next year, and Bryce is we're still in discussion with Bryce at this stage. It looks positive that he will play. We're just working on a few things out in his career progression, but at this stage I think he'll play on as well. So all things positive. We should have pretty strong retention. Maybe 1-2 changes this year, not the 10 or 13 like last year.
Yeah. Just to wind her up, tell me about the final 5. What are your thoughts there? And you've played them all, and I think you've beaten them all as well. So, which is another indicator. What's your thoughts, mate, in terms of how that'll shape up?
Clearly, North have been the most consistent with probably defence, or not necessarily defence, but certainly offence. So I think their game style can score pretty quickly. How that stacks up sometimes in pressure situations in finals, can go one or two ways. But in all honesty, I think your mob Fanta is the most strongest defensively. With their pressure and tackling, which does stand up in big games. And hope you can get Nunny and Matty Panos back on the park. And I think you guys are a really good shot. But as you said, everyone can beat everyone at the moment. So it'll be a really, really interesting final series over the next 3 or 4 weeks.
And what about you? Just finally, mate, all right in the job? When are you contracted to, and what's your story at South Adelaide at the moment?
Yes, I signed a 3-year extension at the end of last year, so I've got 2 years to go, and that'll see me out 7 years, which will be the longest serving coach at South in their history, I think. So
enjoying it though, mate? You look like you're enjoying it. You sound like you're enjoying it.
Oh, it's a great competition. It's a really good blend of family and work balance as well. But I love coaching. I love trying to develop players and individuals to be the best they can be. And South certainly needs some stability. And with our junior program going really well with the connection in the South, I don't think it's too far away. But we'll have to wait another 12 months to see how we go.
I will share with you, and it's one of the great joys. So when you're recruiting, I get to sit in young men's lounge rooms, and I remember sitting in this young man's lounge room before his career started. Then you watch him with great interest, and to see you come on with the coaching and to the level that you've been performing, it's just been an absolute credit to you. Well done. Yeah. AFL ambitions?
There is, certainly there's no rush in the coaching caper. We know it's pretty cutthroat, and I'm certainly happily doing my apprenticeship at SANFL level and really want to get success for the football club. But as you know, there is a use by date with coaches. Sometimes it's not your choice. But I think once the kids and the family grow a little bit older, I've got a 5 and a 3-year-old boy that are just starting school, so. Once they get a little bit more older, and might throw my hat in the ring for an opportunity. But at this stage, I'm pretty committed to South and happy where I am.
Well done.
Good on you, mate. Thanks for joining us. Good luck next year. Let's get them back up there. I know that you've got the squad, and when I had a look this morning, I could see that you didn't have a good year. But good luck next year, mate. Really appreciate you coming in and giving us your time. Yep. And we'll look forward to seeing the Panthers back up in the 5.
And I think if anyone's going to get success out there, Jarrad, you're the man to do the job. So all the best.
Good luck, mate. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it.
Coach of South Adelaide, Jarrad Wright, joining us on the SA Sports Show. We'll be back with more in just a moment.